Why Iran is impossible to conquer. Look at a map of Iran for a moment, and something becomes obvious very quickly. Invading that country would be a military nightmare, because Iran is not just another Middle Eastern country sitting on open desert. Iran is a fortress built by geography. To the west lies the Zagros Mountain range, stretching roughly 1,600 kilometers along Iran's border with Iraq. This massive wall of mountains forms the first barrier any invading army would face if it tried to enter Iran from the west. These are not small hills. The Zagros Mountains are steep, broken, and extremely difficult terrain for large mechanized forces to move through. To the north stand the Alborz Mountains, rising sharply along the southern shore of the Caspian Sea. These mountains form another natural defensive barrier protecting the approaches to Tehran and the northern interior of the country. Then, in the center of Iran lie enormous deserts, places like the Dashti Kavir and the Dashti Lut, some of the harshest environments on Earth, scorching heat in summer, freezing cold at night. Huge distances with very little infrastructure. When you put all of this together, the result is something military planners immediately recognize. Iran is a naturally defensive country, but geography does more than simply make a country look difficult on a map. It shapes the way wars are fought. Modern armies rely heavily on speed. Mechanized forces use tanks, armored vehicles, and trucks to move rapidly across open ground. Speed allows an invading army to break through defenses quickly, before the defender has time to fully organize resistance. But mountains destroy speed. Roads become narrow, routes become predictable, valleys and passes become choke points. Instead of moving across a wide battlefield, the invading army becomes funneled into a handful of winding roads and mountain corridors. And once an army becomes a long, narrow column in mountain terrain, it becomes vulnerable. A destroyed bridge can halt thousands of troops. A blocked pass can delay an entire advance. A small defending force can slow down a much larger army simply by controlling the right piece of ground. This is the first brutal truth of mountain warfare. The terrain itself begins fighting against the invading army. But slowing an army down is only the beginning of the problem, because modern armies do not just run on courage or weapons, they run on logistics. Fuel, food, ammunition, medical supplies, spare parts. A modern mechanized army burns through huge quantities of resources every single day just to keep operating. And in mountainous terrain, all of those supplies must move through the same narrow roads and vulnerable passes, which creates a dangerous weakness. Because the defender does not need to destroy the entire invading army. They only need to attack the supply system behind it, destroy a bridge, ambush a convoy, block a mountain road. Suddenly the entire offensive slows down, fuel arrives late, food runs short, ammunition deliveries become uncertain. And the army that once moved quickly now struggles simply to keep itself supplied. This is why mountains are so dangerous. They turn every road into a potential trap. But geography creates another powerful advantage as well. Because once an invading army is forced into mountain terrain, the defenders gain the high ground, and that is where the real punishment begins.